Hey guys, so we've uploaded our limits in our green dotted line, and we've uploaded our components also. So what we're now going to do is we're going to draw our mini light shape in this one here. Now, you'll notice you've got front, middle one, middle two, back, spare, etc. You are only concerned for the time being with the front, all right? So everything we're going to draw into this space here. We can probably close our data panel now and create ourselves a bit more space. And the first thing I would suggest you do is select around the LED and then right click and click where it says create selection set. Now when you do that, you're going to notice that in our browser menu alongside the sketches we're going to have a selection set. Okay, it's not there at the moment, but as soon as I do that, there we are. Now we've got a selection set menu. Click on the button there, and we've got selection set 1, which I can, excuse me, I can rename LED. Okay, just so that if I need to select that later on, I can come here and I can just say select. And that's really helpful when we start dragging it onto other things. If we're not careful, it can be tricky to sort of get hold of it again if we want to drag it back off. Okay, so there's my shape that I'm drawing into. So let's take my, let's say I've got my rectangle that I'm starting with. So I want to do my rectangle. It's got to fit inside that shape, remember. Okay, so let's say that's going there for argument's sake. Let's say that at the front of it, I've got my 3-point arc. That's doing that kind of thing. So the front has got my curve. I've got what have I got? I don't know. Let's say that I've got an arc on the back that's doing something like that. Let's go with that. I've got another arc on the back that's doing something like that, for argument's sake. Remember, I need to trim away, or these things will just get sort of obliterated. Oops, let's undo that bit there. Sorry, let's just go back to that one. In fact, maybe I do just want the, let's go with that instead then. Let's take that away, let's take that away. And what else? Let's say that on the bottom of my design, again, I've got an arc that goes from there to there and does something like that. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, it's only an example. Okay, so on my design, however, I wanted to have most of this blue but with a black outline. Okay, so I'm going to escape out of my trim tool and I'm going to choose O on the keyboard for offset, and it's going to ask me to select the sketch curves, which are those, and then I can move this line, okay, to give myself, let's make it 3, let's try 4 millimeters, and 4 is a bit tricky because it's getting a bit pinched out the bottom. So that's going to put in a line exactly the same as the one I had before. Now I'm going to get my LED and I'm going to press M for move, and I'm going to need to first of all rotate that by 90 degrees, and then I'm going to need to drag it into position down here. Now that doesn't look very central, so let's move it this way a fraction. That doesn't look very central actually, so maybe we need to change that 5 to 3. That looks fairly accurate, doesn't it, in terms of being in the middle. Bear in mind we can obviously zoom in, so if we want to see things a little bit more clearly. Now if we do want to move that, here's what we were saying earlier on, it's not always easy to now select it from there, but if you come up to your selection set and do that, then it's much easier to select it and continue to move it if you just want to make a sort of a slight adjustment there somewhere. Okay, remember to click OK. Now I need to put the hole for my button cell in as well, so I'm going to take that, press M, and I'm going to move that down, And remember, I don't want that too close to sort of edges of things, so I wouldn't pull it too far down here. It's going to get very, very close to that edge. Something like that is not a bad bet. Okay, and as a general rule, yeah, it wants to probably be nice and central on the LED. Let's click OK there. And the only thing I then need are these holes for the screws. So you could have a third one if you didn't think 2 was enough. You could have 4, to be honest, if you thought you needed it. But you probably want to take one at a time. So I've got them both selected at the moment. Let's just come out of that. Let's select 1 and M. And I'm going to move that. And I think what I'll do is I'll put one about here somewhere. And I'll put one about opposite it here somewhere. Okay, so they're a little bit spread out, kind of diagonal across the position of the LED. And I think that's probably okay. You could have more. You could put one there and one there. It might be overkill, might be more than you need. So there you go. The only thing I haven't added on there is my button. Remember, this is the button cell. This isn't the push button. So the push button, I'm going to make a rectangle, let's say, but it's got to fit inside that circle shape. It can't be larger than the circle for the LED. So I'm going to click that in, something like that, and that is going to be my square shape for the actual push button. I hope that's big enough. If it's not, I might be better to go for a circle. But again, make sure the circle you draw for the push button is smaller than the circle you have for the button cell. Remember, it can't, if it's bigger, it's going to cause, well, it's just going to cause you a problem. It's not going to work. It has to be smaller than the button cell. Okay? And that is, I think, pretty much it. So let's click Save, click OK, and we're good to go.